We're live.
What's up, guys? Jesus. What's up, everybody? This is Alex Kelly back here with another episode of the Furloughed Film Talks podcast with my brother Ryan.
What's up, everybody?
We are here on Tuesday. Today's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
These days are so messed up.
We were snowed in yesterday, so we didn't get the episode in. We lost power and all kind of bad shit.
Yes, these have been a couple of crazy ass days here in Texas. But we are here to do our Tuesday episode. So thank you to anybody who is watching this on YouTube with us. We do these live. Should be every Monday and Thursday, but today we're doing Tuesday. If you want to watch along, you can check it out at YouTube by going to our channel, Furloughed Film Talks. Subscribe. You'll get an email, I think it is, showing that we are live now. So
we should get like a notification on their phone.
Yeah. I think we're still here.
We're good. Keep going.
So we will be talking about the Snyder cut trailer. Zack Snyder's Justice League put out his first trailer on Sunday, so we will walk through.
There's also a second trailer. Did you see that?
No, I didn't really.
Yeah, there's a second one. It's pretty much the exact same thing.
Okay. And then we will be reviewing Judas and the Black Messiah. And then this is going to be kind of a weird one. We will be joined by Alexander Chaplin. He was in The Assistant. If you are watching this on YouTube,
that will be on our actual podcast episode.
Yes, so you'll be able to check out that tomorrow when we release it. But that was a really, really cool discussion with Sandy is his nickname, Alex. But he was a really, really cool dude. He took a lot of time to talk with us. We talked about a lot of different stuff.
It's a fun interview.
Yeah, really cool dude. So stick around for the end of that to listen about that. But first, we got to talk about the Zack Snyder Justice League first trailer. And holy shit, was there a lot of new footage that none of us had ever seen. Ryan.
Yeah, it was going to be 2 hours of extra movie that we haven't seen yet. So
literally a 4-hour fucking movie that people need to get ready for because it is going to be absolutely insane. Ryan, what were your thoughts when you watched this trailer?
I don't know. I mean, there was only one scene that was like really new, I think. Right? Like
there's a lot. Like all the dark side stuff was new.
Yeah, but you'd already seen it like in the HBO.
Oh, you mean like? Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like something new to this trailer, right? Like,
yeah,
with all the footage that Snyder's been putting out over the past few months, and like teasing it for HBO Max. Like we've seen the new Dark Side, and we've seen the like updated version of Steppenwolf. And like I think we got more footage of like what is Wonder Woman? It's Amazonians?
Amazonians, yes.
So some more footage of them. But like seeing Jared Leto's fucking Joker was
pretty
great. Yeah.
It was pretty
awesome.
crazy.
I don't know. It didn't make me any more excited for the movie. Like I'm already pretty peak level excited for this to come out.
It is a weird thing about this movie. Is like I'm excited to watch it, but like my excitement can only hit a certain level because it's not like this can really go anywhere in a weird sense. Like in the back of my head, I still have this feeling of like, cool, like unless this absolutely blows everything out of the water and unless the fan reaction to it is immense, they're not going to do anything with this. Like this is just going to be a 4-hour kind of win for fans, which is not, we should not discount that. Like it's really cool that they're doing this in and of itself, but like, we're not going to get anything past this. Like DC Films and Warner Brothers are very, very dead set on basically saying this is a cul-de-sac. That's the exact term they've used. And we're not going to do anything past this. So it's just kind of a weird situation to be in and seeing all this new footage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need to like have this lead to more movies based on this like direction to be like super excited for this. I think this is like a super cool thing for Warner Brothers to do, to say like, hey, you know, we had a really shitty situation come up during production of the original one. And I especially like that, Josh Whedon is getting his face bashed in
for a lot of different things
in the media right now, and Zack Snyder is like kind of having his day to take this project that he started and like move it across the finish line. And really, like, it's so cool that they actually not only like are allowing him to do this, but actually funded him some extra cash
damn
to
good
like
amount of money to do it
to make this happen. Like, what was it? Another
25 million.
25 million.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, what did you think of the Joker?
I like this version of the Joker way more than the last iteration of Jared Leto's Joker.
Okay. Just like the physical appearance of it.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see, because what I think he's basically doing is, because it looks like they're in that nightmare scene, like Batman's nightmare scene. So it's supposed to be like this futuristic kind of apocalyptic version of the Joker. So it's very much like maybe not Elseworlds, but like an alt world version of that Joker. And so having Jared Leto, do a very different style of Joker is so fucking cool. Like, it's so cool that he gets to do another take on it.
Yeah. So I do feel kind of bad for him. Like, he did kind of get fucked with everything that DC films or Warner Brothers did, right? Like, at one point we had like the possibility of 3 different Jokers.
Yeah, that was a super weird thing for them to do. Obviously, it worked out because Joaquin Phoenix's Joker was fucking great. But like, it's kind of funny now because there are people who are like, "Well, I liked the first Jared Leto version of the Joker," and I've always been like, "No, I
didn't like. I actually liked it a fair amount. I mean,
not stand it like for a lot of reasons.
I thought it was like a really unique take on the Joker, right? Like, it's
unique,
if you're gonna
give him that, but like,
yeah, if you're gonna do like this character that's been around since what, the fucking 40s or something, like, at least take a bold and interesting
in live action since at least the 60s.
Right. And I mean, there's only been so many, like, there haven't been like dozens and dozens of different Jokers, right? You've had like less than a half dozen live action ones. So I don't know. I do like that, like, you can tell it's kind of the same Joker. Like, they grew out his hair and it's like the same complexion and whatnot. And it almost looks like he had his tattoos on his face like surgically removed, because he has scars in certain places where like the tattoos were.
I would like that, like, little detail. If that's really like what it is, I would love that little detail.
Yeah.
I loved also, we have to point out we live in a society fucking thing. I had no idea that was a meme.
Me neither.
But like, that shit is hilarious. And
what is the meme exactly? Because I didn't really. Basically, I pulled it up on Twitter and I really didn't understand what the fuck.
Basically, it's just like people pointing out like shit that's messed up in the world, and literally like all it will say on the post is like, we live in a society, or it's like, we live in a society where XYZ can happen. So like, that type of thing. And so like what he says is, we live in a society where honor is dead.
A distant memory.
Yeah, it's a distant memory. Isn't that right, Batman?
So like, and the thing is, like, this is something that a lot of people think is attributed to the Joker, but the Joker actually has never said.
He had never said it. But like, in the meme culture, it was very closely tied to the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And so this, like, that's why a lot of people lost their shit when this came out, is because like, and that's why he put it at the end of the trailer like this. Like, it was supposed to be hey, we see you, Twitterverse or 4chan people. Like, this was supposed to be a wink and a nod to fucking hardcore nerds and meme culture people who knew this shit, which we did not. So we cannot say that we are anywhere near that.
Whatever. I mean,
but it was fucking hilarious to see people freak out over this.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So yeah, we're excited for this. I think it's March
18th.
I'm fucking way off on that. So March 18th is when this movie comes out. 4 hours long. Are we gonna watch it in one sitting? Gotta make that decision.
I think we should try to do that. I mean,
He's asking questions.
Yeah, no, I see.
Okay.
I see that. I was gonna work it in.
Okay. Do you want to work it in now,
Yeah,
Ryan?
Yeah. So the Constantine show. You want to talk about that for a second?
Sure.
No.
No, I love Constantine. I'm very interested to see if they're actually going to do this.
Okay. Well, the news is just that HBO Max is developing a Constantine series.
Show. Yes, and they don't. Matt Ryan is the one who had done it on NBC, and then he popped on over to Legends of Tomorrow as John Constantine. But now they're talking about getting a person of color to play John Constantine. So it's going to be very interesting to see what direction they kind of take with Constantine moving forward. There's a lot of stuff they can pull from the Hellblazer comics, which is what he's from.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited about that. I love the character of Constantine.
Yeah.
They're going to dive more into the horror aspect of everything from what I've heard.
Why are they doing a person of color? That's what they want to.
That's the direction that they want to go. I all I saw were tweets, so I don't know if I don't know if they said why, but if they did, if they have a reason for it, cool. Maybe just to change up the character a little bit to have it be different.
Mm-hmm.
That's completely within their rights, but I had not seen anything, and I don't know if this is going to say it or not. Recast entirely. Oh, interesting. The Grid reportedly lists Rogue One star Riz Ahmed as someone the production is interested in, though it's not clear whether the Venom alum is an archetype for casting agents to prospective agents, or if the studio is considering the actor for the role. That's the guy who we saw last night in Sound and Metal.
Yeah.
So I'd be fucking down with that.
That'd be pretty badass.
That'd be really good. So okay, so like that's the type of thing. If they pull somebody in like that, then it's a fucking great hire. Like
okay. Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, like arguably like the movie they did of Constantine was like the perfect example of like them getting a character exactly right for the movie and doing like making a fucking great movie with Keanu Reeves. And it's like after that you're kind of like, okay, can we not do anything with this character unless you get Keanu Reeves to play it?
Well, even the guy that played it in Legends, his name's Matt Ryan, which is ironic because it's a quarterback, but he was fucking great, like as Constantine. Like he had that aura of Constantine down pat. So like
yeah,
again, like they've done this character really well. It's just never found commercial success by any means. Like it's never.
It's odd then that like HBO Max would decide to pick it up. If it,
I mean, it's Warner Brothers, and I don't think they feel comfortable making another movie. So,
well, no, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if it wasn't successful, it wasn't all like successful with.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like, if it wasn't successful with the movies or the show, like the shows haven't been.
They literally just did a Constantine character in the show like a couple years ago. Like,
yeah, and the fucking show they had on NBC was like early 2010s, so it's not like they haven't done this within the last decade. Yeah, it's a weird fucking choice, but well, we'll see.
Yeah, no,
Constantine talk.
Interesting, more DC material that'll be out there.
But it's also just more fucking evidence of DC just literally throwing shit against the wall and like seeing a little stick.
Well, it's so fucking weird because like they have all their like CW shows. Like how many CW shows do they have right now? They have The Flash, Batwoman.
You want me to go?
Yeah, okay. I'm asking.
Batwoman, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Flash, Black Lightning, and they're about to have Superman and Lois. Here's the weirdest thing.
There's 6 fucking CW shows.
Well, hold on. So Supergirl's about to finish.
Okay.
Superman and Lois is brand new. Black Lightning is about to finish.
Okay.
Flash and Legends of Tomorrow are in like season 7 and 8. I don't remember the exact number for both, but like they're in their 7th or 8th seasons. They have to be on the back end of their fucking runs.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to do a Green Arrow and the Canary show, which was like his Arrow's daughter, and then these 2 other people. They didn't pick that up. They were going to do a Wonder Girl show, which is the sidekick of Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Didn't pick that up.
And Green Arrow just finished like what 2 years ago?
A year ago now.
Yeah.
So like their Arrowverse stuff is not in a good fucking state right now. I would not be surprised if in 3 years, because they're doing Superman and Lois, that's going to be a big budget, but that's not going to last super long. That'll probably be 2 to 3 years. I wouldn't be surprised in 3 years, all of it's gone. Like it's
just like no CW shows.
No CW DC shows. Because
I mean, if they replace the CW shows with like much higher quality HBO Max shows, I'd be all for that. Especially because they are doing that. Like they've now announced Constantine, and they're doing the Gotham like companion show to
they basically
the Batman.
just do like all the companion shows on fucking HBO Max with their movies and just like cut CW out. I would not be surprised if they did that, because like I said, the trajectory of the shows that were successful for them, they're all about to be done.
Yeah.
And Superman and Lois does not have.
It's kind of odd that they're starting a new one then, though.
But I think it's because it's Superman, so it's like.
Yeah, you can always do a Superman show.
It's their biggest fucking IP in the world.
Are they having the same guy from the other one, like the same actor, do Superman as?
Yeah, from the show.
Yeah,
Tyler Hoechlin. Yeah, he's gonna do it. So like I said, I don't think that lasts super long. I don't think it's designed to. I think the Flash is gonna be done real soon. Legends of Tomorrow, which is a fun fucking show to watch. I don't think that lasts much longer. Because one of the dudes that's been on it since the beginning just said this is his last season. Guy who plays Rory, who's in Prison Break. I don't remember his name right now, but like, I just have a feeling that like, as soon as you take Arrow out of that, it's And so a lot of people I've heard talk about it just basically said like it's not gonna last, or they stopped watching like 2-3 years ago, which is when I stopped watching. Because there's so much fucking shit on all of that, on all of CW. But yeah, there's my DC CW recap
review.
Anything else?
No.
Cool.
Let's move on.
So we had a couple of movies. We've been snowed in the last couple of days, so we took some time to watch some movies. The biggest one that came out this past Friday is on HBO Max. Stars Daniel Kaluuya. I need to say his name right. He was amazing in Get Out, as well as LaKelith Stanfield, who's one of my fucking favorite actors. Is
it the FBI agent?
Yes.
Okay.
As well as Jesse Plemons. So it is Judas and the Black Messiah.
And was it Martin Sheen?
Yes, which is under a lot of makeup.
Shit ton of makeup. Yeah.
It was super weird. We'll get to that in a second. But Ryan, do you want to give a quick rundown of Judas and the Black Messiah?
Yeah. So this is completely centered around the Black Panther Party and their Chicago chapter. And this was in the 60s. This is the 60s or 70s?
Late 60s,
early 70s. When they were the chairman of the Black Panther Chicago Party was Fred Hampton.
Yep.
And this basically centers around the FBI's attempt to infiltrate the Black Panther Party. And in the end, spoiler alert here, do everything they could to silence and get rid of Fred Hampton. So this follows... it's called Judas and the Black Messiah because this follows the Judas, who was an FBI informant who was very close to Fred Hampton and kind of very much involved in the like inner workings of that organization in Chicago.
Organization, I think is the best way.
Yeah, but it's like it's a nationwide party, and then you have it's like a small chapter in Chicago where this is centered around. But yeah, I mean, it basically is a glimpse into the Black Panther Party and basically it's basically a biopic of Fred Hampton and intertwined with the, perspective of how the FBI infiltrated his organization and ultimately murdered him.
Yeah, so it's Daniel Kaluuya.
Kaluuya?
I just looked it up. I'm trying to say that right. It's directed by Shaka King, who is a great director. He did. I thought he had done some other stuff that I'd heard of. Let me look at his filmography. Maybe Newlyweds. I thought he'd been attached to some of the other stuff. Anyways, Shaka Khan is who did it. This was a very interesting look at Chicago, at race relations, at what it would take to basically infiltrate an organization and, try to understand, and the, almost personal demons of you're in there, but you're torn because you feel like you should be helping this group, but also you're basically looking out for your own skin, which in turn, if you meant to it or not, got people, spoilers, killed. So not understanding the behemoth that you were really working with, and even the people that were working with you, they didn't understand the behemoth that they were working with.
Right.
So everybody was really being manipulated in this. Like the people manipulating the FBI agent, he was being manipulated by other people. Like there was so many different layers of manipulation that was interesting to watch. I want to talk about this, and I don't know if it's definitely not intentional. Some people might take it that way. It feels kind of like it takes away from the movie, but it's probably true to how these people how this group talked. They were very much a socialist organization.
Yeah.
And they used words and phrases like party leader or
chairman, comrade, brother, sister.
Which brother and sister, like that didn't really throw me off. It was the comrade stuff. And so,
well, yeah, I mean, Fred Hampton was a self-proclaimed Marxist-Leninist.
Yes, which it's very interesting, like watching this story, and it's just like this group were self-proclaimed Marxist-Leninists, and so while their message of equality and they were being oppressed by the police or by the system was true, and they wanted to form alliances with other groups, and that's what they did, which is really, really cool that they were willing to go and talk to the people with the fucking, and again, who knows this, and that this is the biggest problem I have with this movie, and I'll get to that in a second. They were willing to go and talk with people who had rebel flags up or other organizations.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay.
Like that is something that I think is a great message, where it's we all have our own problems. We all have kind of common enemies in a sense. We need to come together instead of like being separate. Like I think that was a really good message within this movie.
I mean, I'd really disagree, because like I don't think it's a good message. Sure, it's great when different groups can come together, but when you're coming together to violently oppose.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like
we're not. No. I'm not saying violently oppose, obviously.
But that's why they were coming together, right? This is like my biggest problem with this movie, right? Like I told you I was gonna have some hot takes on this, but
that's what we're here for.
So, who in this movie? Who would you call the protagonist?
Are you saying the lead actor or the protagonist of the movie?
Like, who is the hero of the movie? Who in this movie is someone like that is trying to do the right thing, or like in your view, like is the classic archetype of like the hero?
I would say the most, and it's the most fucked up thing to say this, but I think it's supposed to be the FBI informant.
Okay. So this is my issue with the movie, right? There's like, and I don't think like movies that have this characteristic are necessarily bad, but in this movie, there is no like good side of this story, right? The FBI is infiltrating this, political organization to take down Fred Hampton and the Black Panther Party as a whole, mainly because, I don't know. I mean, it's really twofold, but it's hard to distinguish which is more important to them. But A, because they're a socialist organization, and B, because they're a racial organization. They're, like it or not, but the U.S. government was fairly racist in the 60s and 70s, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, they were against socialist organizations in the United States. And there were certain aspects of the U.S. government that were against, like, Black power parties, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you like, so the FBI agents, Herbert Hoover, they're definitely not the heroes of this movie. Like they're not working. Edgar Hoover, yeah. They're not working towards like anything good, right?
Not at all. And real fast, there's the scene, and I thought this was kind of cool because it spoke to Trial of the Chicago 7, where like they show a drawing of Bobby Seale like, bound to the chair.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, oh, there's our friend. And he's belittling that character. So it's like, obviously they didn't fucking care about these people whatsoever.
Not at all. Yeah. And then you have the FBI informant. Like he is doing all of this as a form of self
penance almost.
Not in penance, but like he's basically being forced to do this, right?
Yeah.
He either
that's
does
what I mean
this
by self-penance. Like if he doesn't do this, he's going to go to jail.
He's going to go to prison for like decades, right? So like he's not your hero. He's not the good guy in the story. And then you have Fred Hampton and like the Black Panther Party. And I mean,
he is supposed to be, but like the problem with that is the Marxist-Leninist part of it, where it's
not in that. Like I would be okay with that, right? Like I would be okay with the Black Panther Party being a socialist organization and doing everything that they did in order to like better their community and try to like create a safe environment for like their perceived group, right? But the problem is like he gives speeches where he like is advocating violence, right?
There is that one speech.
He overtly advocates violence. His group, when he's in jail, like initiate violence with the police, right? So it's like the Black Panther Party and Fred Hampton definitely aren't the heroes of the story, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's like you're making a movie where like as the audience member, you don't have a certain group that you're looking at and saying like, okay, I want to be behind this character. I want to be behind this group of characters. Like I understand why it's important to make movies of like difficult situations and of a set of characters who there isn't a like good guy in any of those characters
because they're all human. And I think this is a human story because nobody's perfect. Like you're really not supposed to, if there are people you can root for that are human beings, but like most of the time, and especially in very combative situations like this, like you're not going to be able to truly root for one side. Like both sides are going to have some fucked up characteristics of themselves.
Right. And I think that's perfectly okay. Like you can definitely have movies where like there isn't a side to root for per se. But I do think if you're going to make a movie and you're going to like make a big kind of near blockbuster commercial movie about this topic, at least have it come away with some moral or some like give the audience a takeaway that says like, yeah, this shit was really bad in the past. Like it was really fucked up. All this shit happened, but like, here's where we can go in the future. Here's why we're making this story. Here's like a direction we think the country should go in. Not give us this fucking story of you have the FBI agents who did incredibly fucked up things. You have an informant who did incredibly fucked up things. You had the Black Panther Party and Fred Hampton who also did incredibly fucked up things, and you basically end the movie with
But like
the fucking world's on fire and like nothing is good, and
I did appreciate the end of the movie, because up until the end of the movie, like it's kind of okay, like this is how it's gonna happen, and it kind of felt, what's the right word? Telegraphed. It's probably not the best word, but it did something that Black Klansman did, which Black Klansman at the end showed a lot of real world clips of what was going on. And this did the kind of same thing where like it gave you information about like what has happened with these characters since. And I won't spoil it, like you need to go watch it for yourself. But like I think that hit really hard for me, of like what the impact of these events were on these people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the overall message, because of that, or what that message was supposed to be, was what happened to these people affected them greatly, and they led them to do certain things for multiple people. And so I think that was supposed to be the message. Like what had happened to all these people was insane, was very impactful to them, and they took it several different ways. Now, is that a message for everybody? No, because it's not.
What is the message there? I don't understand what.
Spoilers. The informant, they have the interview with him, and then they say when that interview was released, he committed suicide.
Right.
So everything that he did kind of rushed back up to him, and he felt guilt for it. I'm putting words in his mouth, or his actions, I guess. But he then killed himself the day that interview came out.
Right.
That speaks to what it did to him. Then there's the woman that was married to Fred Hampton, who had her son, whose son is Fred Hampton Jr., who's now the chairman of the
a neo Black Panther
group in Chicago. So he followed his father's footsteps. So the ramifications of everything that happened affected these people, and it led them to different, paths. Now, does that speak to the greater human condition? No. Does that show us fucking how we can move forward through this stuff, how we can come together and become a better society? No. And I think a movie like this, that wasn't their goal whatsoever.
I think that's what my biggest problem is here.
And I agree. I think that's a problem.
Like, I would like to ask the filmmaker, like, what was your goal in making this movie, right? Like, was it just to highlight how these different, characters from the story acted, and like just to shed a more like a brighter light on what happened in this time period? Like, but what really was your goal, right?
And I think it was that. I think it was just kind of to be a history lesson, to be let's give more info on these people, because Fred Hampton has not gotten a lot of publicity.
But I think, like, if you're going to make a feature film out of it, you have to have, like, this isn't a documentary. You have to have a larger goal rather than just, like, telling the like biography story of these different characters, right? Like,
I definitely understand what you're saying, and I just think, like, is it not enough to just put this out there and be like, here's what America has done to certain Black leaders in the past?
Yeah.
And to legitimately just say, we are not trying to say how we can get better as a community, but simply trying to say, because a lot of, I'm not going to say who, but there are a lot of people who just think like, oh, America's never been bad, and like American leaders have never done anything horrible. And it's just like, all right, motherfucker, here's 2 hours of shit. And is it just legitimately supposed to be that? But then in my head, the counter argument is like, okay, cool, but like the people you want to fucking see that are not going to watch this. So what the fuck?
Right.
But like I legitimately think it's just like showing America, here is some of the fucked up stuff that has happened in American history, and let's get it out there. And even if I don't know the exact number, I'm just spitballing off of my own research, 50% of it was fucking made up. At least it leads people to do their own research and grapple with what has happened in American history.
Right. Like, I think if the goal of this movie was to like highlight how intrusive and misguided our like federal policing organization is, right? Because like the FBI is supposed to be the federal police, basically, right? The Federal Bureau of Investigation. They're the police at a federal level, right? And it to a large extent, in many different cases, they basically turned into like a
goon squad,
a personal goon squad while he was alive of Hoover, right?
Yeah,
like
of J. Edgar Hoover.
J. Edgar Hoover was like notorious for like digging up dirt and having files on everyone in the country so that he could blackmail anyone at any given time. And basically, like people talk about a shadow government or the deep state.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of that's bullshit. Like to the QAnon people, like to a large extent, that's bullshit. When you talk about like what the FBI did in between like the 50s and the 80s, like along with the CIA, you've got like possibly the JFK murder. You've got Iran Contra. You've got everything with any socialist organization that tried to operate in the United States.
You don't even have to say like, oh, maybe they had something with JFK. Stick to like what we know for fucking sure. Iran Contra, like certain events that we know for fucking sure that they've done are enough to be like, you guys are a fucked up organization.
Or what they did with bringing in drugs through.
Oh my god,
Arkansas. Yeah. Like,
well, this is from the Atlantic, and it says the headline is "The Unsettling Message of Judas and the Black Messiah." The new crime thriller about a magnetic leader of the Black Panther Party is a sharp criticism of the FBI's surveillance of social movements past and present.
Okay, I think
that is the overall message.
It could have been way sharper. It could have been
for sure. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like,
and just focus
to the fact that it was ambiguous to us as to what like the overall message of this movie was supposed to be is indicative of the fact that they didn't make that criticism or that they didn't shine the spotlight on the FBI as much because it was like unclear to me. Like, are we supposed to be like critical of the FBI here? Are we supposed to be critical of like socialist African American organizations? Like, what the fuck are we?
I think we're really
supposed to be talking about.
And the end of the movie, and this I will not spoil. Like the end of the movie, something happens, and it's the FBI doing something, and it's like they fucked up. It's like they fucked something up. Like not they didn't fuck it up. They did something fucked up.
Yeah,
and like that is supposed to be the overall message that like they basically, and like that is beyond the pale of what any fucking, justice
organization of justice
should be fucking doing. Like that's shit you hear about in dictator-led fucking countries, and like that was happening here. Yeah. And so I really do think like that was supposed to be the overall message, and it's supposed to show to people like, hey, there's been fucked up shit done to these groups of people for decades. Don't act like America has always been this like bastion of fucking hope and justice for decades, when that's just not the fucking case for a large majority of the population.
Right.
Did they do that in the best fucking way? Yes and no, because some of the scenes are haunting, and some of the scenes and some of the lines in dialogue that those FBI agents have fucking give you goosebumps and make your hair raise on your arms because they are that creepy.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's also so for us viewing this, like, I think we have a really good understanding of American history and, what transpired through the 60s with all the race riots and strife and whatnot, for someone that's like maybe 10 to 15 years younger than us and like doesn't have a real good understanding of those series of events, and like this is their introduction to what it was like in the 60s and 70s, like it probably is more impactful to that type of audience.
For sure. You do a double feature of this and Trial of the Chicago 7. Holy fuck.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right. So like, you know, I think because this was a decent movie. Like, I'm not saying this was a dumpster fire of a movie. Like, the acting was brilliant.
Stanfield and Kaluuya.
Which was Stanfield?
The FBI informant.
Right. And
I love him. He's fucking awesome.
Who was the FBI agent? Who was
Jesse Plemons.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So like, the cast was phenomenal. Like the depiction of that time period was really awesome. Like, this was a good movie. I think we're being like ultra critical.
But and this is what I wanted to bring up
which I think is completely fair when you touch these topics.
Were we too excited for it? If this was something that we'd only heard of a couple of times and then saw, would we have been like, fuck yeah? Or is it just a byproduct of what is going on right now where we're kind of starved for movies and this was supposed to be like, this was a big movie that we were looking forward to for a while and had been pumped up for a while. And
I don't think that's it at all. I think that like when you take on these genres, I guess for lack of a better term, like this topic, like you have to be really careful to, not alienate a certain part of your audience, because like you don't want to make the FBI look really good, because then you're alienating your African American audience. You don't want to turn the Black Panther Party into like superheroes, because then you're alienating like a certain like Anglo-American portion of your audience. Like,
which I don't think like they give a shit about like any of that. I get what you're saying completely, but like it's hard to make either of these groups look good.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm saying is like, for me as a audience member watching this, like I just don't think they were as like, they just didn't reach their goal as well as they think they did. And that's why
I completely understand it. Yeah, because like they could have. Because what's the most effective fucking scene in Trial of the Chicago 7? What is the one scene that punched you in the fucking face and made you realize, holy shit, these guys are assholes?
It's when they gag and bound the... Right. That's a perfect example, right? Yeah. This is a racially charged...
that scene will stick with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like, holy fuck.
This is a racially charged scene and in Trial, where the only African American defendant in this trial is literally gag and bound, and really the only reason he is being put on trial with all these other people is because he was picked out of the crowd as the leader of whatever, like
it was Black Panther.
It was the Black Panther in Detroit, right? Or
yes, yeah, because he had driven to Chicago.
Exactly. Yeah. And
against the fucking like protests of, I think, his girlfriend at the time,
right? And
somebody in the party. But.
And that's like a perfect example of the filmmaker doing like doing that scene perfectly and not alienating anybody, because anybody can watch that scene and say like, okay, that judge is clearly a fucking racist asshole. This should never be done to anybody, regardless of like
anybody. Yeah.
We treat 9/11 terrorists better than this guy was treated in the trial. Like,
yeah, which I'm not going to say specifically. I hope you understand what I mean by this, but one of the last couple scenes of the movie where the big event of the movie happens, You know which one scene I'm talking about?
No.
What is the biggest moment of this movie?
At the end of it?
Yes, towards the end.
I'm really not
All
following.
right, sorry. Spoilers from here on out then. If you have not seen Judas and the Black Messiah, do not fucking listen from here on out. When Fred Hampton is drugged and killed in his bed,
Okay.
that is supposed to be that moment where you're like, holy fucking shit, they killed this guy. The FBI like raided his house illegally or like didn't have real fucking cause and then murdered his fucking like
Yeah.
his fucking him, like got everybody out. Like fucking they shot up the entire place. Like it's supposed to be that scene, but it's not built up or executed as well as that scene in Trial of Chicago 7. It's still impactful. It's still fucked up to see the FBI do that.
Mhm.
But the way that they framed it and the way that they get to that moment, it's just kind of like.
But that at that point in the movie, like you've had two scenes where there've been shootouts where
Yeah.
both members of the Black Panther Party have been killed, member of the police department have been killed. Like by the time you get to the murder of Fred Hampton, like everyone involved in that is understood that they're at war, right?
Yeah.
You can say like it in
But what I'm saying is like they do not explain that they didn't have a real fucking warrant to raid that house, that the raid was on very sketchy fucking terms, and the only way that they really describe it is in the it's the thing where they put up in text like supposedly like it was said that the Black Panther shot first, forensic said it wasn't them, that the police department shot first. Like that's the only real way that they said that the FBI was at fault, where you could frame it a lot better where if you show the FBI, drumming up charges or drumming up fake shit to basically get this raid going and doing shady shit to build up to that moment to where then they get there and you show, and they did a little bit, that there was only one fucking guy like sitting there with a gun and it's all women and children or women and dudes dead asleep.
And they like shot through the door before they even knew that guy had a gun.
Yeah, like they knock on the door and he's like, oh, coming, and then they fucking shoot.
Yeah.
Like that, it's that type of thing where you do not have the buildup of the same type of feeling like Trial of the Chicago 7.
Well, that's my point. Like my point
Yeah,
was
that's what I'm saying.
It's not as impactful as the Trial of Chicago 7 scene because it's like these guys have been killing each other the entire fucking movie. Of course, the conclusion is like the FBI goes in and murders Fred Hampton. Like in no way is that
not of course, but like
it's not a justification for what the FBI did, but like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's just not as impactful. You can't look at that and say, I don't know.
It's a very interesting movie. I would recommend people go see it or watch it at home, especially if you already have HBO Max. Just watch it at home. Take that time. I think it was 2 hours.
Yeah,
which it's very good. The acting is really good. The message is kind of muddled. Some of the cinematography was really fucking good too.
Yeah, really good.
What would you give it on a Max Jindo head rating, Ryan?
This is a really hard one to give.
I have to look it up on what I gave it on Letterboxd.
This is a really hard rating. I think a 3.5.
Okay, I think I gave it a 4 on Letterboxd. If anybody's on Letterboxd, they're paying me to say their name now. The fuck did I give it? I don't remember now.
Apparently, this has a 96 critic score and a 96 audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it has a really fucking high score, which like I get. I get why it. I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Which like, do I like it more than Trial of Chicago 7? No, I think Trial of Chicago 7 is way better.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen a lot of people on Twitter basically say like they don't understand how it isn't getting nominated for like best screenplay or some other stuff. Like I think it should get nominated for some stuff, but like, do I think it should win certain things? Probably not. Like I think Daniel Kaluuya, I think he should get nominated. I think even maybe Stanfield should get nominated. But like, if they nominate 8 to 10 movies for Best Picture at the Academy Awards,
Yeah.
this will get nominated. If it's 8 or less, I think this gets left off. It's going to be close.
Yeah.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to give Nomadland, Trial of Chicago 7, Promising Young Woman, Minari, First Cow, and then throw in, what are the other ones that are? Oh, Ma Rainey, Black Bottom, and Mank. I think those are all locks. I think Judas and the Black Messiah and something like.
Does it not feel like an incredibly weak year for Best Picture?
It is for sure.
I mean,
I think and The Five Bloods is going to be a wild card, and One Night in Miami is going to be a wild card.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not really surprised, like, since so much got delayed out of 2020.
I'm not surprised at all, and that's why, like, when I watched this, I was kind of like, fuck, like I don't think this would come even close to sniffing, award season if it was any other year. But I still think once we see it, Nomadland is going to blow it away. I think.
I thought First Cow was way better than this.
I enjoyed First Cow, but like I didn't think it was wonderful. I thought it was an interesting movie. I thought it was cinematically really well fucking done. But like I think Nomadland and I think Promising Young Women are going to blow this out the fucking.
You still need to see that.
We need to see both of them, and I want to see both in theaters. I think we have to see.
Promising Young Women still in theaters?
Yeah.
No, okay.
And it's going to be for a while.
Tenet will not get a Best Picture nomination. They probably will get a cinematography.
It'll get best sound editing. It'll get best visual.
Yeah.
And best cinematography. It will not get Best Picture. And
I don't think get a best screenplay.
Best original screenplay.
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so?
No. Just from watching what the nominations are. No.
Okay.
And so
that's kind of disappointing because it's like a incredibly original.
It is very original, but like I just think, and I'm such the type of person that I basically discount if I'm not seeing it be nominated from stuff. Like I don't even think about it. So it's not even just a personal thing. It's just what am I seeing being nominated? So let's just go off that list. And so usually it's like 7 or 8 movies.
Yeah.
And that's not what I've seen at all within best original screenplay. And the Writers Guild of America just announced theirs today. So let me hold on because I know. Yeah. 2021 Writer Guild of America Awards original screenplay nominees: Judas and the Black Messiah, Palm Springs, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, The Trial of Chicago 7. Okay, I forgot Sound of Metal. That'll be Best Picture nom as well.
Weak year, man.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
Shit,
we saw a lot of movies this weekend because
we did.
We saw Sound of Metal, First Cow, Judas and the Black Messiah, and
those 3.
Did we see a 4th one?
We watched. Say those 3 again.
First Cow.
Yeah.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh, I watched In Bruges.
You watched In Bruges. I rewatched Tenet.
Did you rewatch Tenet? When the fuck did you rewatch Tenet?
I think Saturday night.
Where the fuck was I Saturday?
No. Friday night.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I want to watch. I'll probably watch something else tomorrow.
Well, let's watch. We need to watch. I mean, I want to see The Little Things.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do this on air. Fuck it. I'm sorry. I wanted to watch Sound of Metal just because I thought it was an awards contender. I know you wanted to watch The Little Things last night.
Yeah.
I
really didn't care.
Okay, cool. Fuck you. So
yeah.
No, I wanted to see The Little Things before it came out, and then it got panned, and then some people freaked out when Jared Leto got nominated for a SAG award or a Golden Globe.
Yeah, I just meant like watching Sound of Metal last night. It was no big deal.
Okay. Fuck you.
Just. Plus, like watching any critical movie with Dennis is a fucking like. Because I'm trying to like pay attention like to this movie and like actually watch it critically, and he's over here just
fucking
bitching and talking about the most random, pointless shit ever.
Dude, no, that's why I didn't want to watch Promising Young Woman, because it would have been way worse.
That would have been hilarious.
It would have been way worse.
Like,
oh my God,
he would have given us straight dripping gold. Like, anyways.
But Judas and the Black Messiah, it is available right now on HBO Max. Go and check it out. It's in theaters as well.
If you have AT&T internet, you have free HBO Max, by the way. That's how we...
Any other comments in the comments section, Ryan?
No. Asking if we're going to check out Cherry.
Yes.
Which we definitely are, yeah.
Yes.
We have a reaction to the trailer.
Yes,
a long time ago.
Like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But it is now time for the people at home who are listening to this on your podcast platforms, wherever they might be, to listen to us with our guest today. He was in the new movie, The Assistant, and he was in the NBC TV show Spin City, as well as a couple episodes of Scrubs. He was an amazing dude. Thank you so much for him for coming on. Here is Alexander Chaplin. And that was Alexander Chaplin. So everybody, again, thank you to him. Thank you. He mentioned it, so I can say this. His manager, Dan, he helped us get that interview. He worked through some different stuff that was going on. So we really appreciate him. We appreciate Alex taking the time to talk with us. Absolutely badass dude.
Alex is a certified Furloughed Film Talks badass motherfucker.
Yes, I like that. I fucking like that.
Okay.
Furloughed Film Talks. What is it? What was it?
Certified badass.
Certified badass motherfucker. CBAMF. He's an FFT CBAMF.
Love it.
I love it.
I don't know how he'd feel about that description.
He'd love it too.
He'd probably be fine with it.
No, super cool freaking dude.
She get a little stamp made up.
Bah!
FFT CBF.
CBF. Christ, this show, man. We will have. Will we have him? Yes, we will. On Friday's episode, we will have Ryan Airy from Screen Crush. We're going to talk to him about all things WandaVision.
When are we talking to him?
Thursday.
What time?
5:30. So we will be talking with him. That will be on the episode Friday. Cannot wait to talk to him. Super cool that he's coming on. We got another guest next week.
Do we?
Yes, we do.
Who's this?
I'm not going to say.
Okay.
Everybody needs to check back these next couple episodes. But everybody, thank you guys for listening to this. We live stream all of our episodes on YouTube. Go on to YouTube, search Furloughed Film Talks, FURLOUGHED Film Talks. Subscribe to the channel. We do this every Monday and Thursday when there's not a blizzard. Follow us on Instagram at Furloughed Film Talks, and check us out on YouTube or on Twitter at Furloughed Film. Everybody stay warm, stay safe, and we will see you guys on Thursday.
Adios, amigos.